Welcome back, dear viewers, to another emotionally rich and heartwarming story from the world of our beloved celebrities. If you've been following this channel, you already know we dive into the moments that truly touch the soul, and today's story is one for the ages. So grab your tissues and settle in, because what we're about to share is not just a celebrity encounter. It's a raw, beautiful moment that reminded fans everywhere that love, whether it's friendship, brotherhood, or something even deeper, transcends distance, time, and even pain. It started with quiet whispers across fan communities, rumors that something wasn't right with Wang Yibo. The news soon confirmed it. He had undergone surgery, and while the procedure was said to be successful, concerns spread like wildfire. Fans held their breath, praying for updates, hoping for signs of strength from the idol who so often kept his pain hidden behind a calm exterior. Then, without warning, a familiar figure appeared, one who hadn't been seen near Yibo in some time. Xiao Zhan. No press, no announcement, just pure intent. He was on the move, and fans could feel it in their hearts. Something significant was about to happen. Something honest. Something unforgettable. And when the moment finally came, it broke the internet. It all began quietly. There was no dramatic announcement, no flashy headlines at first. Just murmurs. A few blurry fan photos. Whispers of concern on social media. Wang Yibo, stoic, mysterious, fiercely private, had undergone surgery. And while the details were scarce, the fanbase immediately rallied with support, flooding timelines with well wishes, prayer chains, and a universal hope that their idol was safe, healing, and surrounded by those who love him most. But what happened next? No one saw it coming. Out of the blue, Xiao Zhan, who had been keeping a relatively low profile and was reportedly tied up with his own filming schedule, was spotted at the airport. Alone, masked, hooded. No press team, no manager in sight. Just a quiet determination in his stride and a boarding pass in hand. Fans pieced it together quickly. He wasn't just traveling. He was racing to be by Yibo's side. It was the kind of gesture that words fail to fully capture. After everything they've been through, shared fame, explosive chemistry on screen, the rumors, the distance, the silence, it was this unfiltered, spontaneous act that rekindled the world's faith in the bond they share. By the time Xiao Zhan landed, fan accounts were already abuzz. Security was tight at the hospital where Yibo was recovering, but eyes everywhere were watching. And then, just like a scene out of a drama, he appeared. Xiao Zhan walked through the hospital corridor with barely contained emotion in his eyes. No cameras, no fans, no crew. Just him. And then came the moment. Yibo was wheeled out for a short walk as part of his recovery process, surrounded by medical staff. He looked pale, thinner than usual, but alert. And just as he turned the corner, there he was. Xiao Zhan. Standing silently, arms open, not with words, but with something far more powerful. That hug. That breathtaking, silent embrace. It wasn't rehearsed. It wasn't for the cameras, but one lucky nurse had her phone out. And in a flash, the image made its way to the internet. Xiao Zhan pulling Yibo close, resting his chin lightly on Yibo's shoulder, as if holding back tears. Yibo closing his eyes for a long, fragile second, leaning into his friend, not as an idol, not as a superstar, but as a human being who had been through something terrifying and needed comfort. The photo spread like wildfire. Within hours, Xiao Zhan hug Yibo was trending globally. Hashtags exploded across Weibo, Instagram, X, and TikTok. Fan edits poured in, set to soft piano ballads and nostalgic clips from The Untamed. Artists began drawing interpretations of the moment. Even fans who hadn't interacted in years came back together, united in the overwhelming emotion of it all. Some said the hug felt like closure. Others said it felt like a new beginning. And for many, it was a reminder that real love, whether platonic or romantic, doesn't fade. It simply waits, quietly, for the right moment to show itself again. But what makes this story even more touching is what reportedly happened behind closed doors. According to a source close to the hospital staff, Xiao Zhan didn't leave immediately. He stayed the night, not in a hotel, but in a modest private room close to Yibo's. He was seen walking in and out, carrying fruit, hot soup, and a warm blanket he'd brought from home. The two didn't talk much, the source added. But sometimes they didn't need to. There's something sacred about silence between two people who know each other that well. Their bond, whatever form it truly takes, is deeper than interviews or scripted lines. It's in the little things. The unspoken loyalty. The midnight flights. The way Xiao Zhan reportedly stood at the window of Yibo's room at sunrise, just watching over him, sipping coffee quietly while Yibo slept. And just like that, the internet was healed. For once, the chaos of fan wars, scandals, and rumors was replaced by something gentler. A collective heartbeat. An acknowledgement that the bond between these two men is something rare and beautiful. Something not even time or silence could erase. Even the media, often cynical and prone to stirring controversy, couldn't ignore it. Articles celebrated the moment. Some even dubbed it the hug that healed the fandom. Others praised Xiao Zhan for his humanity, for being the kind of friend everyone wishes they had. A steady, quiet force when it mattered most. But beyond the headlines and fan theories, the real story was simple. Two people who had once shared the brightest of stages, the harshest of spotlights, and the heaviest of expectations, finding their way back to one another in the most human way possible. And now, as Yibo continues his recovery and Xiao Zhan returns to his commitments, fans are left with a renewed hope. Maybe we won't get public declarations or long-winded interviews. Maybe we don't need them, because that hug said everything. It said, "I'm here." It said, "You're not alone." And perhaps most importantly, it said, "No matter what, we're still us." So to all the fans out there who felt something stir deep in their chest when they saw that photo, know this. You weren't imagining it. That connection, that love, it's real. And in a world that often moves too fast and speaks too loud, maybe this quiet reunion was exactly what we all needed. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you felt touched by this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, in the end, love always finds its way home.